Hello, I am Peaceful Nik the Medium. I'm an evidential medium, and I am here to answer some mediumship questions and do some free live readings. Momentarily, I will be joined by certified medium Kathi Behrens, and we are going to take questions. Hello, Jill. I'm just getting started. Welcome. And as always, all of my replays are posted on. I'm clicking the invite, Kathy. I'm so excited. I can see the same thing I saw last time.
Oh, it worked.
I'm so excited. I was just doing an intro and saying I was going to be joined by certified medium Kathi Behrens, and all of my replays are posted on my YouTube channel. And when I do post them, if Kathy and I go live together, I always put all of her links there. So if you would like to get a reading from her, or find out any information, her links are always in the YouTube description. So welcome everyone. Hello. So Kathy, go ahead and intro.
Oh, well, let's see. Hi, this is my first actual real live on TikTok, so welcome. My name's Kathi Behrens. I'm a certified evidential medium. What that means is I have actually been tested and certified through a program. So I've also taken James Van Prague's certification mediumship course, and my job is to bring through evidence in mediumship readings. And what that means is every time I do lives, my ring light goes crazy. So I don't know what it is.
We've been having a lot of electronic issues, and Mercury is in a storm or something now, apparently. So that makes sense. Mercury retrograde storm, according to astrologers. So that may.
Well, that could be it. So if I'm changing colors or whatever, that's why.
Well, it'll just match my colors in the background. So it's, keep it colorful.
Yeah, right now I'm blue, so we'll see where it goes next.
So talk about your the other group. Can you talk about the other group that you're in? The not group, but where you had to be tested. I don't know what it's called.
I over the summer I had to do. I really wanted to become a part of helping parents heal. It's an international organization dedicated to helping bereaved parents, and they promote and include mediumship and mediums in their healing modalities, I guess you could say. So in order to become a medium for the group, I had to be tested. So I did 5 blind test readings, which meant I had no information beforehand. I didn't even have their first name. I just went on Zoom and they were there. I couldn't even see them on the camera. So I passed all those, and we were graded, or I was graded on a scale of how many pieces of evidence I brought through, how accurate the readings were. So it took 3 or 4 months for this to be completed. So I did pass my certification, and it's through Mark Ireland, and he's also an author and a psychic medium, as was his dad, and he works with, and I'm going to screw this up, but I do know that he works with some Scottish scientists, and they base it, where they test the brain and everything when you're doing mediumship. So, yes, that's how I became
really
certified.
Cool.
Yeah,
that is really cool, and that's a great segue, because as somebody who has a scientific background myself, I'm always interested in this, because I've only been a medium for like 4 or 5 years, so I'm always interested in bridging the science and the mediumship together. And I love you're blue. You're purple. I like it. I like it as long as it doesn't distract you.
I turn it on white, and then it's like so. We'll see how long.
But I always like seeing the different, the connection between actual science and mediumship. So I did a long video earlier about, I stitched a I duetted a Bashar video where he's talking about when we're here, we're in a dream. When we're dreaming, we're in the spirit world or something like that. And some people had some questions about, what about people who are bad? And so I made this like long video about it. And so it's interesting to see different perspectives and how people feel who don't know a lot about mediumship in the spirit world. So if anybody has any questions, and click the like button, let's get a bunch of people on here. We're gonna try to do some readings and answer questions if you have any questions. And while we wait for questions, hello to everybody who's following who's putting the little awards on my head. I don't know what they're called, but thank you. I have a 50% off coupon that's only good till the end of January. It's Holly 2023 because it was from November to January. Capital Holly 2023. It's 50% off any reading, and my beginners class starts in March. And I have a lot of interest in it and several people saying that they're going to join. So if you want to join that class, email me. All the links are in my bio to get a hold of me. In my it's not a link tree, it's a snip feed. So same type of thing. So you can just click it and you'll see all my stuff. What do you have going on, Kathy?
Not too much. I think I only have one reading left, or one available spot left for January. And so I'm booking already into the second week of February. So if you're interested in scheduling a reading, you can go to my website. It's kathybehrens.com. And that's the only way I schedule readings. My Facebook page, well, I found two profiles that were copying me or pretending to be me, offering readings through Messenger, and I don't do any of that. The only way you can get a reading is if we do something like this, a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live, but no, only through my website. So I just I always like to remind people, because I see that a lot here on TikTok too, a lot of duplicate or clone accounts.
Yeah, I had somebody email me the other day saying, somebody sent them a message pretending to be me and they recognized that it wasn't my username. Hi, Looney Tunes. I follow you and I love your content. See my shout out to San Francisco. Hi, Dawn. And this person keeps sending private messages faking that they're me and asking people to send them date of birth, first and last name. And this person, I tracked her and I found her real name. Hi, Lola. Welcome. And she has a mugshot, a literal mugshot. And so you've made videos, I've made videos, we've all said it. Just be very careful. For me, same thing. You can either email me if you can't figure out how to use like the Venmo or the PayPal or my website. I can book it for you, or go directly to my website and book. I never solicit. Kathy never solicits. No ethical medium ever solicits. Ever, ever, ever. Hi, Beth Bees. Hi, Catherine. So if you have any mediumship questions, go for it. I dropped my pen. So I'll get a new pen. What do you think about, Kathy? What do you think about our whole soul versus the soul that inhabits our body? What's your view on that?
I'm not sure what you mean. Like our oversoul?
Yeah.
Our oversoul. Well, I think it's all one, right? We have one soul, but we have many parts to our soul, if that makes sense. You're the scientist, so you probably know how to explain this better than me.
I'm trying to get engaging conversation going here.
Yeah. But I believe that we have an oversoul, and then we have bits and pieces of our soul in very different dimensions, different lifetimes, different, I don't know, what do you call it? So we have more than, it's not just one soul. we have many parts to our soul, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, like, if you know anything about quantum computing, a quantum computer can do like a million calculations like in a microsecond. And it's when it happens, you're going to think the internet we have now is just like the worst because it's going to be so crazy. But like a quantum computer could do the banking for the whole United States in like an hour. Like that's how powerful it's going to be. And so our soul would be like a quantum computer that has all these little parts all happening at the same time. Lola, great question. Lola said, is that why we have deja vu? And I believe that is, yeah, because we've been in all these places and we're all in all these different places all at once. And I said that years ago before I was a medium. I go, I think deja vu is like us in another dimension, like bleeding through. And now that, we've talked about this stuff before, it makes sense that we have all, it's like a file box and each file is a different life and it's all happening at once. If that makes more sense than a computer.
Yes.
Can you see my comments too?
I don't know if I could. I see Deb just commented.
Okay. Debbie C.
Yep, Debbie C. Okay. The soul can be everywhere. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't know if you could see mine and I could see. I didn't know. Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know how you tell. See, this is my first time actually being live in person like this. So I don't know how you tell who's who, how many people are where. So this is new.
You should have a number at the top of your screen by the little pictures of people. Okay. And there's a little person and a number.
Okay. Mine says 12.
Mine says 12. Maybe that's 12 total.
Total. Okay.
Thank you, Debbie. Hi, Oveki. Welcome. I hope I said that right. Debbie, the soul can be everywhere when you need them around. Yep. In different places all at once. Yeah. So that's what when we talk about, when we do mediumship readings, I like to say we have like a little antenna and we call out to whoever needs to come through at the time, like right before reading. For me, I'll say the person's name if I know their name. Sometimes I don't know their name. If I know their name, I'll say, Jane Doe, please bring forward someone for Jane Doe. Please bring forward who Jane Doe needs to talk to. Please come forward. And then 10 seconds before, there they are. But if I don't know the name, I'll just say, all right, spirit world, you have intelligence. Please bring forward someone for my sitter who's coming, who I don't know who it is. And when you were saying earlier about the blind readings, I almost prefer a blind reading.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
The more
I don't want to know anything.
Yeah, the more I know, the more I'm like, I would rather not know. It's just easier for me.
Yep, and you just have to trust spirit then, right? You just trust what you're getting from spirit. And it's so much easier to not second guess or get into that human brain when you don't know anything. Yep. And you just trust spirit.
Yep, exactly.
Looks like Dawn has a question.
Oh, yeah, I saw it, Dawn. I haven't had a chance to open it. I was cooking dinner and prepping my lunch for tomorrow for work. Yay. Works. I'm back at work because our break's over.
So is that today that you went back?
I went back today. We had a half day today, so it wasn't so bad, but I'm getting an allergy attack. Anybody have any questions about mediumship or spirit guides? We get a lot of questions about spirit guides.
And just from watching other lives, I know that if you tap the screen or share the live, that brings more people, that brings more energy to the group, so the readings can be better. So maybe we could do a little bit of that.
Good. Lola has a question. I'd like to hear your take on that.
Do you speak to our spirit guides? So, um, when I do a mediumship reading, I go directly to the spirit. So I don't necessarily connect with the guides. However, I do sometimes, I feel like we were taught like we shouldn't do this, but I do. I connect to guides. I connect to your guides, your angels, your loved ones when I do like a soul spirit reading. When that's a reading that I give when you need guidance or you're looking for direction. So yes, I will connect with your guides, your loved ones, your angels, when you come to me for a soul spirit reading. Sometimes we're taught not to do that, but I don't understand why. I really don't understand why.
I was taught, because we had one of our teachers was the same. I was taught also not to connect with another person's spirit guide, that it was unethical during a mediumship reading.
Okay.
But I don't do the soul spirit readings, so I'm assuming that's a totally different.
When somebody schedules a soul spirit reading with me, they already know that this is a reading that I'm going to do to connect with your higher self, your guides, your angels, and your loved ones. Because all of those people, I say people, but they all have guidance for you. They all have, and you've already set that intention to connect with them. So of course they're going to want to give you guidance, especially if you're not open to receiving or if you're not paying attention to the signs they're giving. So I know we were taught not to, because it was, I know one of the things was we need permission first, but I feel like if you are booking that type of reading with me and you are seeing what it is, you're already setting that intention and giving permission when you book that reading.
And I would say most people, I would say 90% or more people don't even understand whether or not you would be connecting with their spirit guides in a mediumship, or, most people don't have it's not an everyday thing that people talk about spirit guides. Most people in the spiritual community, yes, but I never heard the word spirit guide until I started getting mediumship training. And you know that whole story about my doubts. Debbie says, how do you know who your spirit guides are? Do loved ones help guide too? So I have a free spirit guide. If you go on my website, there's this button that says, get your free guide to finding your spirit guide. You can click it and it'll go right to your email. Has a link to a video about how to find your spirit guide. Only, in my opinion, only you can find your spirit guide. I don't know, Kathy, if you've ever found someone's spirit guide for them. Okay. I didn't know. But only you can find it. You can be guided through it. You can be guided through it by a medium or a spiritual teacher, but you have to actually find them. And do loved ones help guide too? Yes, I will say my mother passed away in 1986, which is I was 15, so way before I was a medium. And she's always been with me. I felt her with me, and she has always guided me through my entire life. So yes, and I've made videos about this before. It's splitting hairs saying your loved ones can or can't be your spirit guide. To me, labels don't matter as long as you're being guided. I personally think there is a difference, but to me, it doesn't matter to me if you call them all your guides. It's irrelevant to me as long as you are connecting and being helped by them.
And I agree. And there are many different ways of thinking, and there's many different, opinions about it. But I truly believe that our spirit guides are with us through our lifetimes. And so why couldn't that be our loved ones, right? Because our loved ones are part of our soul family, right? So why can't they be also our guide? So I believe, I don't think things are black and white. I never think things are black and white. So I definitely think that they can be your family.
And there's always shades of gray in anything spiritual, because unless we have crossed over, we don't know 100% of everything. Unless we remember all of our past lives and lives between lives. And I would say most people don't. So there's no.
Letitia says, I tried meditation to find mine, but I fell asleep during it instead. Yep, that happens.
It happens to me all the time. Because usually the only time I have to meditate is right when I wake up or right when I go to sleep. And it's not bad. You just have to practice. Catherine says, do you recognize a spirit if you've talked to them before? Yes, I do. Not every time, but some of them are so distinct and you just feel the energy. A good example is if you have a family member that has, let's say, a negative energy about them, and they walk in the room, and every time for the last 20 years you've ever been around this person, they walk in the room and you feel that negative energy, and it's always the same person. I'm not saying the spirit's negative. I'm just using this example because it's probably the easiest to recognize. You know that energy is from that person. So the same thing when I do readings, I get clients that come back a few times a year sometimes, and they often want to speak to the same people, and they come right in, they know the reading's coming. Sometimes they come in earlier in the day and they just kind of hanging out with you, and you just know it's them. You just feel the energy. And the more readings you do, the more practice you have, the easier it is, and it just becomes second nature. What do you think, Kathy?
Yes, for sure. And it may not be immediate that I would recognize the same spirit, but as I go through and keep going through the reading and I get to, get to know them more and feel into the energy more, then it starts to become familiar. But I will say that just because it's a familiar spirit, especially if you wait a good amount of time in between your readings, that they will bring through different information. So that's also important too. Even though that we may recognize the spirit, they'll bring through different information.
Because things have changed. Say it's been 6 months since you had a reading and you went to a wedding last week. They'll bring that in, they may bring that information through as validation that, you were at a wedding, and say, were you at a wedding? It looks like you were at a wedding. They were there, et cetera, et cetera. And then this is a question I'm going to ask you, Kathy, because I have a big picture opinion on this. Our spirit, Debbie C, are the spirit guides assigned at birth?
I believe that they are with us through all of our lifetimes. So this birth, next birth, whatever birth, they're with us throughout our lifetime. But I also believe that they come and go. So when we need them, we'll have a certain spirit guide. And then once we move on to our next phase of life or whatever, we'll have another spirit guide. So I do believe that they change throughout our lifetime, but they are with us through our lifetimes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's very similar to what I was going to say. Because we have an oversoul, like we talked about earlier, and we have so many different lifetimes, and maybe we have 100 lives going on at once. And so my guide is George. It's my main guide. He's the one I talk to the most. I have Mother Guide. She stands back here. She looks like the lady from Home Alone in the park. I think I've talked about that before. That's what she reminds me of. She's lumpy. She has a big lumpy outfit on. She rarely ever shows up except when I need her desperately, but I always know she's there. I can just thinking about her right now, I can just feel her energy behind me, as a support. And George is just kind of floating out here in the front. And when I, call on him, he's just right there. But maybe in one of my lifetimes, I need Mother Guide more. And this lifetime I need George more. And then maybe I have another guide I haven't met yet. Maybe it's Bill, I don't know. And Bill's guiding me in a different life. So I agree with you about they're with us through all our lifetimes and come and go as needed. And we meet them when we need to meet them.
Yeah.
Debbie C., this is a good question. Does spirit know before you get a reading?
Yes.
We're both 100% in agreement on that. They know.
Yeah.
They know. That's called intelligence of the spirit. Spirit is, knows everything you're doing, everything that's going to happen, what song's going to come on the radio, because there is no time in the spirit world. So they can see our birth, our first grade, our senior year, our college, our death, our children, our grandchildren. They can see all the events in our life, including what song is going to come on the radio or if a dove is going to fly by that day. So yeah, they know when you're going to get a reading. Yep.
And two, you've set that intention. It really has a lot to do with you as well, because you've already set that intention. Like, I've come here to get a reading, or I've made this appointment to get a reading. So yes, they definitely know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do.
Flashing? I'm like flashing over here.
Between my mystery lights and your flashing, we're having a good old time. Let's see. Is meditation the accurate way to connect with guides? We call it something different. We call it sitting in the power, which is a kind of meditation. It's where you purposefully, initially go to connect with your guides and differentiate your own energy with the way your guide's energy feels and other spirits. And so when you do readings, you'll feel different, like we talked about a few minutes ago. Different energy of different spirits feel different. Like sometimes I'll get a reading and this person's coming in strong, information, and they're so positive and they're so happy and they're so excited. And then the next reading, it's like mellow. And you're like, can you tell me anything? Just one thing. Just I need one piece of information. So, yeah, I think I went off on a tangent.
Well, and I just, when you say, is meditation the accurate way to connect with guides? You can connect with your guides through meditation for sure. And you could do like a guided meditation to help you. But what Peaceful Nik was talking about is sitting in the power. It's really sitting in the quiet, right? You just sit in the quiet and you get rid of all the noise, right? You get rid of all the noise from the day, from the week, whatever, and you just sit in the quiet, and you'll start to be able to discern what is your thoughts versus spirit or your spirit guide's thoughts. So there's some really great meditations for how to find your spirit guide, and they will guide you to like sit in the quiet and do those things. So you can find those meditations. I have a app that I love. It's called Insight Timer. And there's some spirit guided meditations on there. And like Peaceful Nik said, she has a wonderful, is it a meditation?
I have a free guide on my website to find your spirit guide that you read, and it has a link to a video to find it. It's kind of like guides you through it. Yeah.
So when you say accurate way, yes, I mean, you could just go to sleep at night and in your mind invite your spirit guides to join you in your dreams and meet them in your dreams. So there's many ways that you can go about meeting your spirit guides. Just set that intention.
Yeah, it's all about setting the intention, and every person's brain is different. We have such a wide spectrum of neurodivergency, and probably I would say most of us in our generation are somewhere on the spectrum, whether we know it or not, based on our parents who were boomers, extracurricular activities that they participated in cause a lot of people to be neurodivergent that don't know that they are. So all of our brains are wired a little bit differently. And so some people, my husband can sit and meditate and just be calm. And I'm like, how? I can't sit still that long. Like I can't meditate like that. It's very hard for me. to do that, especially if I'm connecting with spirit. I get super hyper, like, and I'm not an ADHD person at all. Like, I'm super mellow usually, but when I'm communicating with spirit, it's like this other part of my brain takes over, and I'm like blah, 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 crazy. So it's different for everyone. So don't be hard on yourself if you have a hard time meditating, if you have a hard time sitting in the power or sitting in the quiet. Everybody has to find their own way that works for them. And some people I've guided through finding their spirit guide 4 or 5 times, and they just can't do it. But eventually it'll happen for them in their own way. Maybe I'm not the right person to help them, and that's okay, as long as they find their way.
Well,
Dawn?
Dawn has a good, yeah, I wanted, and that kind of segues into what Dawn says. Do you name your guides, or do they come to you with their names? So I have a couple spirit guides that don't even have names. So they're just balls of energy, and I know that when they're with me. So I don't even have a name for them. They're just like, I see my blue ball of energy, or I see like my lightning, energy. So you don't even have to have a name for them. So if you want to name them, I guess you could, but you don't have, like, there's no right or wrong answer, right? There's no right or wrong answer.
Yep. It's the spirit world's all about energy, as is the universe, which is a beautiful thing as far as I'm concerned, that it's the same. Everything is energy. All matter is energy. So if you like blow apart a star, all that stuff either becomes little particles or pieces of energy. And our soul, our spirit, is also energy. And so there's no exact square. I'm not a big person about putting people in a box anyway. Everything's malleable. Everything, some people this part works, some people this works for them. There's no exact definition for something like that. My guide, when I found my first guide, I saw him, and George was the name that popped in my head, but I've heard mediums say there's no real name for them. They just, whatever name you call them to call on their energy is fine. They don't really care. Because obviously a spirit in spirit that's been around for millions of years did not have the name George a million years ago. Right? There weren't even humans a million years ago. So, hi, Shanice. I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, thank you, Wounded Womb Warrior. Hi, Evelyn. Let's see. I think I missed some here. Oh, Debbie, well, Catherine, do we get a choice on if we come back? Ooh, this is a good one. Kathy?
I think yes and no. Okay, so like I said, I don't believe everything is black and white. I believe if there are things our soul wants to know, needs to experience, wants to experience, then yes, we come back. Now, if we say we're done, we could be done. But then if we choose that, I don't know how far we ascend, okay? So, when we come here to learn lessons and to experience life and to experience what it's like to be a human, to experience emotion. And I believe that, we come here because we want to graduate and keep moving forward and keep ascending higher and higher and higher once we transition back to the spirit world. And I say transition back to the spirit world because that's where we're from. What do you think, Nicole?
I have a question for you, actually. I agree with all of that. And I think that I have 2 things. Remind me to ask you the question about termination of the soul. I have seen that we read in books and seen other mediums and spiritual people talk about we're trying to get closer to source so we can grow our soul. So all these challenges, is to grow our soul. And then I read it in a book or something about you can choose to go to another planet, because in the spiritual realm, there are other planets in the real universe, and the people in the spiritual world believe there are other planets where organisms exist, intelligent and non-intelligent. And someone said in one of the books I read that you can choose, if you've had a really rough life this go around, you can choose to just go, be a butterfly on another planet, or a lizard, or just a sentient being that just kind of sits on the beach for their whole life. You can choose an easy life to give yourself a break. It's not always about having to have this rough, horrible challenge every time. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. Like I said, we have the choice, but I do, and I know you were kind of getting to that. I do believe that our soul wants to ascend higher and higher and higher. Like that's the goal, right? And then the higher we get, the more people we help. And so I think that's what I believe. Does that make sense?
And I would also say that the more you're ascending in each, human life or whatever life you're living on whatever planet, the higher you are, emotionally, your emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, the faster you want to get there. So you're probably saying, all right, I want to just give me all these challenges so I can keep ascending and ascending and ascending. And I think it was in Journey of Souls where they say eventually you merge into source. You've read Journey of Souls, I presume, which I think is amazing. And then earlier I had a question on a video about when people commit atrocities, they still go to the spirit world, and this person seemed a little bit upset about that. And I was like, but you have to understand, they're not getting off scot-free. And then they were like, well, what if they keep doing that every time they come back? And somewhere in some book, I read that a soul can be terminated. Now, I have not experienced this in any reading or anything I've experienced personally. I just read that, so I just wanted to know your opinion.
So I've actually never heard that. So this is the first time I've heard about terminating a soul. And I just don't even know how that would happen. Right?
Yeah, because it can't really get rid of energy.
You can't destroy energy. You can only change it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that would happen.
Yeah, I don't either. I read it and I thought, I just didn't really know what to think about it because it seems extreme. But there are humans who commit terrible atrocities, and you're like, people get upset. And they're like, how can they go to heaven? It's like, well, it's not really heaven.
Well, and I think if we look at it in the context of this is a human committing those atrocious acts, not the soul, right? So when we transition, we leave this humanness behind and we take our soul with us. Our soul goes to the other side or to heaven or whatever you want to call it. I say go home. We go home. But we reflect on what our soul did, and we reflect on the things and why we did that. And now we may have to come back. Our guides may say, you know what? You're not ready to move on. You've got to go back. So it's not like you said, it's not like we get off scot-free. And I truly believe, and just like reading about, reading Journey of Souls, reading about near-death experiences, there is truth to that we experience the pain, the hurt, all the emotions that we caused other people. Mm-hmm. That's what we experience when we transition. And we kind of have to relive that. So we feel that pain that we caused other people when we transition, and it's like our life review is what they call it. You believe that?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And I've heard that said before, and I believe that wholeheartedly. We feel the energy of, we feel the emotions of all of the happiness or pain we caused others when it's, that's the life review, or part of the life review. And I describe when somebody's evil, this is how my instinct or intuition makes sense to me, that if some human is evil, it's obviously the human doing it and not the soul. And I explain that a lot to people. The soul is pure, the evil is not. That's the human. And if you've ever seen, I had boys, so we had a lot of Legos when they were growing up. And there's the cheap Legos, the Mega Bloks Legos, and the real Legos. And sometimes those two don't stick together because they're just off a little millimeter. And I describe it as, when the human goes wonky, it's because the soul may be a real Lego and the human is a Mega Block. And they just don't quite fit together well. And so things go off. And that's just like the best analogy I can come up with for that. Because it's definitely not the soul that's doing it. Let's see. Hi, Donna Marie. Tracy says, I only see color like the northern lights. I can see form just perfectly fine. Dawn, I absolutely believe this. My dad talked about it in my readings with both of you.
Oh.
Yay. Yeah, we had a reading that. It was great. Hi, Joshua John. I met him. I was in San Francisco. Megan, Elisa, Joshua John, and Michael Mayo did these. They were traveling together, and he did some really cool readings. He was very entertaining. It was great. Any more questions about mediumship? How you doing? So I'm glad you're here. Do you want to try to do a couple readings?
Yeah, of course.
Are you up for it? Mm-hmm. How do you want to do it?
I think I'll just go spirit guided. Right? Okay. I'll just see who's here. For me, I'll just see who's here. I don't know how you want to. My light is going crazy, so I know that I have spirits here.
I'll let you go first. I have to run down the hall real quick, so you take the lead, and I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
John said, Kathy, you gave me one on a live on Easter Sunday. It was beautiful. Oh, that's awesome. I wish I could say I remember. We do so many readings that it's so hard to remember all of them, but I'm so glad that it resonated, and you felt it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a spirit-led reading, which means I'm just going to go to the spirit world, and I'm going to start to bring through some information. If you can take 90% of this information, just type yes in the chat in all caps. If there's multiple people, if you could just, say yes 90 or yes 100, just kind of, so help me narrow it down. Okay. But there's not that many people, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay. So I'm just going to go to the spirit world, see who's there. And then if you can understand 90%, 80, 90 to 100% of the information I bring through, just type yes in all caps in the chat, and then we'll work our way from there. And pardon me for my... Okay. Also, I just like to let everybody know when I connect to the spirit world, I always look to my right. So if I'm not looking at you, I'm sorry. I'm connecting. I do have a pad of paper here. Sometimes I scribble or draw stuff. So that's what I'm doing. But I do feel that I have, thank you. I do feel like I have a mother figure here. and I want to talk about, like, I was coughing and she's making me feel like she was coughing. And I do feel like this is mom. So I do feel like I have mom here, and she does make me feel like she suffered from something in the chest area, because I'm coughing. I mean, I know I'm coughing, but she's making me feel like she was coughing a lot. So I do feel like I have a mom or a mother figure here, that had some issues with breathing, the chest, lungs, and coughing. I do want to talk about two daughters. She does make me feel like I have two daughters. She wants to talk about daughters, girls. So I do know that I have, if she's not your mom, she would be a mother figure, very much a mother figure for you. She is talking about having two children, and she does make me feel like two girls, two daughters, and something in the chest, coughing. Okay. I also want to talk about her fun side. She's making me feel like I need to talk about her fun side. So I know she liked to have fun. I'm asking her for more information on that. Okay. God, she does make me feel like she was a smoker. And she liked to go to bars. So do I have anyone here that can resonate with this woman in spirit who feels like a mother figure, who she is making me feel like she liked bars and smoking and something in the chest or lungs, and she's making me feel like she has girls or two daughters. Let me continue with her. She wants me to keep talking about the fun. She liked to be on the water. She's showing me being on a boat or being liking to be on the water.
It could be me, and my sister's also on here, and someone named Jenny. I can take 100%.
And Jenny, how much of that information can you take? And is Wounded Warrior, how much of that?
That's my sister.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So Jenny can take 90% and you two can take 100%?
She may not remember as much as I do, so I may have to help her because she was younger.
So I would ask you two, Wounded Womb Warrior and Peaceful Nik and Jenny, to please just listen to the information and take what resonates. Okay. Do you understand a boat with her? Because she liked being on the water and being on the boat. Because that was really important, because she's showing me, like, so, and it's funny because she's like showing me sitting on a boat smoking a cigarette and being like, psh, psh, psh. Like something I would be like, oh my God, because I live on a boat. And if somebody does that, I'm like, oh my God. So do you understand that with your mom?
It wasn't a kind of boat that would explode.
Right. No, but I'm just saying, like, flicking your cigarette in the water. It's like, no, it's not good. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let me keep going. And Jenny, please, if you can understand that, just let me know too. Somebody is going through some health issues. She's just making me feel like she's especially connected to somebody with health issues. So I don't know if Jenny or you two understand the health issues. Let me just keep going. Because I'm asking her if this is related to her. She says, no, it's not her. It's like something else. Okay, so it's like there's unanswered questions. So do you understand that? And Jenny, do you understand that as well? Or just you and Wounded Womb Warrior?
Yeah, it's Holly is her name.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't know that.
No.
Nothing with water. Okay, thank you, Jenny. So, Jenny, I would just ask that you listen to the message and listen to the information, and please take what resonates with you, because a lot of times Spirit will come through with the same information because they want to get your attention as well. Okay. So I do want to say that Holly and Nicole, have you been praying to her for answers? Because she's just like, you just keep coming to me and asking me for answers. And she's like trying to guide you with like, are you going to different doctors? Different doctors, different doctors, different doctors. And she's like, I'm trying to guide you to the right one. You understand that? Okay. She does want to say sorry. She was not there for you when you were younger. She's saying sorry, so she's trying to make up for that, and she's trying to be there for you now. Okay. So I do feel like this is more for your sister, Nicole. Okay.
Yes, 100%.
Are you having like neck issues too? Like, is your neck really hurt? She's like wanting to come and like massage your neck and like, oh, I hope you feel that sensation. She's just showing and making me feel like she's coming to you and like rubbing your neck and trying to make your neck feel better. Okay. Because she's just like, she's so stiff. I need her to relax. Okay. This is interesting. She wants to say that you're a smart girl, and you know, you've written about this, or you're writing about this. Are you journaling and documenting everything? Because she's like, you're a smart girl. It's like you're gonna figure this out. It's like you're gonna figure this out. So she's talking about writing and journaling and documenting this. But you don't have children. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
I can answer faster than she can type.
No, I know. Because
Yes,
I'm like, well, what about children? Because I'm asking her, like, is she alone? Or what, you know, she's like, she doesn't have children. So you understand, no children? Okay. Right? Because it's like, I don't want her to feel alone. Yep. I don't want her to feel alone. And I know, so I'm just going to say this. I already know that Peaceful Nik has issues in her family, right? I know it's not the closest, but I do know that you can lean on each other, okay? I do know, because this is what she makes me feel, is you can lean on each other. And she does make me feel, she shows me just starting a new therapy. So you understand just starting a new therapy, because she's saying like this is going to be helpful. You understand that? And it's like I had to research this, and she's just making me feel like this is going to be very helpful. Okay. So this is also too, to let you know that she is very much aware of what's going on, and she's doing her best from spirit to guide you and help you. It's funny because she's like, even though she probably wouldn't want it, she's like, even though she probably wouldn't want my help or my advice right now, but she's like, I am helping, right? Because we see the error of our ways, like we were talking about once we transition. Okay. So is Holly the youngest, the baby? Yeah, because she's like, the baby. But she does make me feel like you still carry something of hers and you keep it close. And she's saying, thank you for doing that. Let me ask her if I could get more information what this is. And I don't even know if Peaceful Nik, you know about this.
Oh, she answered.
Her ring. Yeah, because she's just saying, I know that you have this. It's very special to her. And she's saying thank you. Because you could have thrown that, she's saying you could have thrown that shit right away. You could have gotten rid of that so fast. But she's saying thank you for holding on to that. She wants to give you hope right now and let you know that things are going to get better and things are going to start looking up. She says, my daughter is strong. You're the strongest of the bunch, she says. She's the strongest of the bunch. So she's just saying, you're going to get there. You're going to make it. You're going to get there. So just please, she's encouraging you to keep talking to her and asking her for advice or guidance. I can't really, not advice, guidance. And just pay attention to those things. So I know that, I'm not sure if you're aware, but she says you can hear her. You can hear her. So she comes to you a lot, she says, and you can hear her. So I'm not even sure if you're aware of that, Nicole, but she's like, Holly can hear me. She's very aware of my presence. So no, I'm sending her strength, love, hope, and healing, and everything is going to get better. Okay? So thank you so much. And it's so interesting how spirit works, right? I love how it's for the greatest need and for your highest and greatest good, right?
And I will fill you in, since she probably can't type that fast. Some of the stuff I was aware of, some of it she can type in there. She needed this more than you can ever imagine. So that came at the very right time. And she has therapy tomorrow. A new, brand new. So, and the ring she has is the ring my mom was wearing when she passed away. And I just gave it to her a couple of years ago when she was staying with me. And I said, here, it's time for you to have it. And and she does have this thing with her neck, 100% accurate on that. And my mom used to sit on the boat and flick her cigarette in the water. She smoked Pall Mall Reds with no filter, and she did love to go to bars. So yes. And all of this is recorded, Holly, so you'll get a copy to watch it over and over and over. And beautiful, absolutely perfect. Very, very, very needed at the very, very right time.
And that just shows, right, improves the intelligence of spirit in the spirit world, because they come through when we need it the most, when they know that our soul really, really, really needs it. So I'm so happy. So happy I could do that.
It was perfect timing. You have no idea. Oh, she said, perfect. I needed this today. And she has been talking a lot about, because she's having a neurological issue, she's been talking a lot about being closer to spirit. Like, she's never like been a medium or anything, but she's been talking about hearing them and seeing them and things like that, which I think is exactly as you described, which is wonderful. Whew, I got to take a deep breath after that. That was intense and very good. I'm like, oh no, Kathy's got somebody for me again. Not again. It's been a while though. They took a break.
I think I was more for your sister, not for you. And I didn't. Oh, yeah. I never knew that was your sister.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Forever love, Caden. I lost my younger sister in November. How do I know if she's at peace now? All souls are safe and at peace. And if somebody's telling you otherwise, they are incorrect. There is no burning hell or fire and brimstone. Everyone transitions and everyone goes to the spirit world, and they meet their guides, they meet their loved ones in spirit, their past loved ones from the family. A variety of souls may greet them. So know that she is safe and at peace. Let's see. I would like first name. So first name only. If you could just put first name only in the chat, I will see. I cannot guarantee who I'll go to. It just, spirit has to strike, and don't repeat it like 50 times. Just one time, and I'll look through. Just give me a minute to look through them, take a drink of water. I'm pretty emotional after that reading. It was wonderful. Lola, you said Gloria, and all I can hear is that U2 song, Gloria. Is Gloria a grandmother or older grandmother type woman to you? Yes, my grandmother. Thank you. I'm seeing, so just so everybody, please hold comments and only Lola answer. Yes or no. I'm seeing a very well put together, beautiful woman when I see Lola. I'm sorry, Gloria. And now she's saying Crown of Thorns, which I believe would be a reference. Oh, sorry. Lola, I'm seeing your grandmother, Gloria, as a very well put together, beautiful woman. She kept herself well put together. Like she dressed nice. She looked presentable when she would go in public. Yes. Okay. And now she showed me Crown of Thorns. And I think that is a reference to, Christianity or something. Maybe she was very religious, but she showed me Crown of Thorns or something. Maybe, I don't know much about the monarchy, but it could be a reference to that. Yes. Okay. And then she says rosary, like she prays did she pray the rosary or have some kind of prayer beads of some sort? Yes. Okay. Did she's giving you instructions. She's saying you don't go to church enough, or she wants you to go to church, or maybe you just went to church but you don't go enough. She's talking about exploring that. Do you understand that? I hope I didn't freeze again.
You're okay on my end.
Okay. My Wi-Fi has been a little glitchy, even though it's supposed to be really good. Yes, I do. Okay. But she's saying, she's saying it's not about the rules of the church. She's saying explore the more the spiritual side, the side, the things Jesus actually said, not what preachers or priests may be saying. Find the deeper meaning, read between the lines. It's not about rules and regulations and you have to be this way or that way. And she said, tithing doesn't always mean giving your money. Tithing can be giving your time. Tithing can be serving the community. Doesn't mean, and so maybe this is something you've been, talking about, thinking about, why do I have to give my money? Oh my God, this is so, okay. Thank you. Yeah, she wants you to realize there's a bigger, broader picture, and it's not always about rules. Church doctrine. She's talking about church doctrine, not necessarily. I've been wanting to teach kids. Okay. I'm a teacher. I can tell you it takes a lot of patience and if you do that, make sure you get in a good school where they allow you to teach in the best way for you, not always. That's a whole other story. Anyway, you can email me. I'll tell you everything you want to know about that. Let me get the message from your grandma. She just keeps singing that Gloria song from that band U2. I don't know how old you are or if you would even know what that song is. And now she's singing the, oh my God, Miss Tarot Mediumship, and I don't think she approves. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, Lola, I have grown up in a religion my whole life, and I still teach at a religious organization school, and they would not approve of me either. But I see the bigger picture. It's not about the dogma, it's about the spiritual aspect. So do not, if you're compelled to explore that, explore it. You're not, it's not, don't listen to people who say it's demons. It's not. There are no demons. That's not real. That's a fabrication for, anyway. You guys all know what I mean. Let me get the message. Yeah, so that's why she was talking about the spiritual side. That's exactly, she's like, okay, you said the spiritual side. I already told you the message. So she's kind of like, she's strong. She's like saying, look, lady, pick it up a notch, get the message and get out. So I feel like this is part of her personality, and she's like, follow your instincts, follow your intuition. And I just feel like this beautiful, I don't know, glow about her. Like she had a good energy. She was very strong. And she's like, I was strict, but I had love in my heart. And so she's just like telling me about her personality. And she's like, don't hold back. Her message is don't hold back. Don't hold back. That's it. She's like, don't hold back. And know that she's safe and at peace, as everyone is. And she's like, she loves you. She's saying, I don't know if this is I don't feel like this is a term she would actually use, but she's like, you were the apple of her eye. But I don't know if she would actually say that. So if you understand why she would say that, like you were special to her, you were different from the others. So Lola, I hope that helps you. And if you want to continue exploring, I have her name. Okay. Beautiful. Wonderful. So if you have any questions, you can email either me or Kathy about exploring your mediumship, or teaching school. I also teach mediumship too. You are so very welcome. Either one of us can answer any of your questions. And if we can't answer, we can find someone who can. We both, know other mediums. So have a wonderful evening, and thank you very much for allowing me to connect to your wonderful grandma. Oh, does she want to say anything to my dad? Let me see. And if Kathy wants to go, I will see if she has anything to say. Sometimes when you put them on the spot, they don't say anything. Is that your experience, Kathy?
Yes, when you demand something, like when you're like, what do they want?
Right.
Tell me this.
Yeah, they often back off when I ask them something direct like that.
Well, and sometimes it's all dependent upon what is for your highest and greatest good. Mm-hmm. So, but I do want to say, isn't it interesting? And for everybody watching, and this is how mediumship works. Spirit uses and chooses, right, the mediums that work best for them. So because you've had this experience and you're a teacher and you've had this religious background, her grandmother reached out to you, right? Because you knew exactly how to articulate her message. And that's how I feel mediumship works. They bring us together, right? Because they know this medium is going to know what I'm talking about. This medium's going to know how to get my message across. So I give credit to your loved ones in spirit for putting it all together and making it all happen.
Right. They use our database. Yeah. Of information.
They do.
You are very welcome.
Okay. That was an awesome reading. So, okay. So I'm going to do spirit guided again because I know I have a gentleman here, and it's interesting because I'm following the same theme because I feel like I can't breathe, but I do feel like this is more heart related than lung related because I'm feeling like I'm breathing, and that so I don't know if this is a heart attack. So I do feel like I'm connecting to a gentleman that makes me feel like he had a heart attack, something with the heart and the breathing fast. Okay. When I connect further, I do know that I want to talk about this is very sudden, very unexpected, as a heart attack would be. And I feel like there was so much like left behind, so much left unsaid, so much that you had to do. So I feel like okay, let me keep going. I also want to talk about my personality, and I could be quite he makes me feel like he could be quite I don't want to. He's saying I could be quite an asshole. Like he could be, he could be grumpy, he could be mean at sometimes, but he's like realizing now that I should have been lighter. So I do know that I have a gentleman here in spirit, and I do feel like I'm older, and I'm feeling like 60s. He makes me feel, and I do know that this is heart related, and I do know that I could be somewhat of. I want to say, oh geez.
Well, that was her answer before you said 60s, so I don't know if that's still the same for her.
Okay. Maybe late 50s, 60s. But I do know that I had an attitude, okay? So I'm going to say I had an attitude.
I have a bunch of yeses now.
Okay.
Yeah. If all of you who put yeses in, put the percentage if you haven't already.
Oh, let me keep going too, because I want to get more information. I do feel like I need to talk to a young girl, okay? And I do feel like I'm like father-like, okay? And I need to talk to a young girl, okay? But here's the weird thing. Not weird thing, but the thing I'm getting is, I don't know if people approved of our relationship or if there was something in our relationship that was not, because I just see there's something in a relationship that, okay, so let me keep going. It's so interesting. I can't get if it's dad or, did people call you my dad? Did people think you were my dad?
You have a lot of yeses.
Okay, so I just feel like this was a complicated relationship, and okay, I need to get something more concrete. So, I do feel, because I'm saying this was like I feel like this was 1 year. 1 year has been passed. 1 year has been passed since I transitioned. So it was fairly recent. So I do feel that. I also feel, okay, like I had to move. So I know that I had to like take all my things and move because of my transition. So does that make more sense to everybody that has said? I know that I do feel like this is either a father or a very father-like relationship. I had to pick up and move because of what happened. Gosh, and I left behind a bunch of stuff. I do like to talk about all my stuff. I do know that I had a lot of stuff because I'm showing like a lot of stuff.
So nothing has loaded for a couple minutes, so I'm sure a whole bunch of stuff will load. So if you haven't put your percentage in, or if you're out, let us know.
I do feel like you found me too. So who this is for, you like, because he's showing me, like, I don't know if this is like a kitchen, between a kitchen and a living room, because I'm seeing being on the floor, and I'm seeing the woman come in, and it's like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So I know that this would have been at home when this happens, because I feel like I'm at home, and this is like, oh my God, what do I do?
So some are out.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, my darling David's still 100%.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. I do need to talk about a recent move that you made or that you're thinking about making, because there's this feeling of like, yes, this is the right decision. And I know that this is something that you've been contemplating, or like asking, like, oh my gosh, is this what I should do? And he's saying, yes, 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 yes. So, oh my darling Davy, do you understand the move? And this is like, the message is like, yes, I need to get this across. Like, this was the right thing to do.
She said, to a new place, question mark.
Well, what I'm seeing is boxes and moving with a lot of things. So I do know that he had a lot of things. So either you had to move all of his things, because I'm seeing a lot of boxes. I do see he has a lot of things. He's saying a lot of things. It's almost like, like when you have two of everything, like I have a lot of things. You understand that? And I also keep wanting to go back to this complicated relationship. And it's this feeling of being like sorry, and he's taking like responsibility for this complicated relationship. The things don't resonate. Do you understand, though, the complicated relationship and taking responsibility for this relationship? Complicated relationship he needs to take responsibility for.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Because I was so weird how I couldn't like figure out this relationship. Okay. But he is showing me boxes, so I can't let this go. So I'm just going to ask you to take this with you. And if you're moving or packing his stuff up in the future, but he's just showing me like so many things. Okay. So many things. So I do want to say, he needs to say thank you and I'm sorry. So it's interesting because he's saying thank you and I'm sorry. So thank you for it's interesting because he's showing me like you as much as you wanted to give up on him, you never did, and he's saying thank you for that. And you understand he's saying, I could have done better. And I also want to talk about quickly here. Sorry, Nicole.
No problem. None at all. She said yes.
I do want to talk about, he even wants to apologize to the dog. So I don't know if he was mean to the dog or wasn't very, he just makes me feel like he needs to also apologize to the dog. I love animals, so he's probably like, I'm so sorry. But he just wants to apologize to the dog as well. And do you have two boys? I see two boys. Boys? Two boys? He's talking about two boys that he'd also like to acknowledge.
She said no boys.
You understand the dog? I don't know if I'm switching to somebody else. I do feel like I need to apologize to the dog. He makes me feel like I'm...
And that you had so many yeses earlier, you could have a blend here.
Could be, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just thank you, oh my darling Davy, for working with me. And just know that the message for you is thank you for sticking by me. And I'm sorry. Okay? Thank you so much for working with me.
Beautiful. Wonderful reading. Wonderful. I have time for about one more quick reading. Back to work tomorrow. Yay. Hi again, Shawnice. She said, yes, I understand that. Okay, so quickly, I'll do a short reading. Put first names in. And I'll see who resonates. Spirit guides this, so I don't pick. Spirit just leads me. Ms. Neely, is Brandon a person that would have been younger than you? Like a son, nephew, something like that? Okay. Is this your son? Not a lot younger. Okay, so not your son. All right. This is the problem. Brandon was the first person who came through to me as a medium ever. And so whenever I see that name, he pops in. So I'm sorry. He's showing himself to me now. His mother's not here, so bear with me. I'll have to ask him to step back because his anniversary is coming up in a few days, the 19th. So let me ask him to step back. I'm sorry about that. He wants me to go talk to his mom. He's been bugging me. So let me start over. I'm sorry, everyone. Aaron, Michelle, I'm when I see Ruth, I'm seeing the scene from Friends where they talk about the name Ruth, being a grandmother. That's how they communicate with me. I watch a lot of TV. I'm sorry. Okay, yes. And then now I'm not as good with ages as Kathy is, but they're saying 80s. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but would she have been in her 80s? And I'm getting tired. Do you get tired from doing readings like and you like run out? 79. Okay, wonderful. Perfect. She's showing me that she was a little more she wasn't flashy, I'll say, is how she's showing me. She's like, I was normal, is how she's like, I was normal, is how she's saying it. She wasn't too up or too down. She's like, I was just normal. Okay, yes, thank you. And you know, she's showing me the typical grandma with the apron and in the kitchen, which I know isn't really like good evidence because, you know, grandmas do that. Well, good grandmas do that. And then she said cookbook, always in the kitchen. She said cookbook. Do you or maybe your mom or someone in the family, did someone inherit her cookbook? And I'm seeing pages that were like other recipes put in there and like they're scribbling and like it's just like I have lots of them. Okay, thank you. And she's like, good try. Like she's making me feel like you tried to make something of hers, still use them. You tried to make something of hers for the holiday, and when you do it or for whatever recent celebration, it's never exactly tastes like hers. So she said, good try. You did, it tastes good. She's not saying it doesn't taste good. It just doesn't have that taste that she had made the food taste like. Does that make sense? I don't know what AP cake is. Yes. Okay. She's like, it's good. And then she said, this is so cute. She said, it's the salt in my fingers. I did everything with my hands. Dryer cake. Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's delicious. She's like, it was the salt in my hands. And now she's talking about dumplings. Like, I don't know if she made dumplings, like where you drop it in the chicken and dumplings. She's showing me that. I believe it, LOL. She's like, because she said everybody's salt tastes different. She's really like saying like, you know, when you're a little kid and you like lick your sweat, she's like, everybody's salt tastes different. That's why it'll never taste the same. She's just going on and on about this. I don't know about the dumplings, but she's showing me that a big pot of something, it looks like dumplings to me, where you're dropping the little pieces in. Like maybe you made that, or you make that, she made that. Okay. And she's like, people called her plain looking, but she was really quite beautiful, but she wasn't flashy. She just was, you know, she wasn't trying to impress anybody with her looks. She was just beautiful the way she was, and she was fine with that. And she wants to talk about, it was sauerkraut and Nep. I can't repeat the dish. Okay. I don't know what Nep is, sorry. If you can tell me what that is. And she keeps talking about the salt in her fingers, and it's just everybody's taste different, which is interesting. She's showing me the book, the cookbook, and she wants to tell me something else. Just hold on. It's a dough. Oh, like a dumpling. Oh, I didn't know that. I learned something. I'm gonna look that up. That sounds delicious. now I don't know if this is referring to you or a younger person in your life. She's talking about social media impacting someone's outlook on how they look or how their weight is. And she wants to talk about, TikTok's telling me to take a break. It's been 19 minutes. Just in time. She wants to talk about I'm not sure if you can understand why she's talking about someone, either you or someone in your life, a younger person that is having a bad, I'm not sure. Okay, so someone's having self-esteem troubles, and she's like, you can be the most beautiful or handsome, if it's a male, person in the world, and somebody's always going to have something negative to say. And sometimes it's worse the more beautiful you are. She said, so she always tried to be just the best version of who she was. And so if you know someone struggling with self-esteem, I think this is her message. Okay, boys, that's why she told me to say that. Okay. Is one of your boys suffering with a specific issue right now? Because she's making me feel like one of them needs a little extra help with something emotional, like something with their grade level or age. Something's happening. Okay. Crohn's disease. Okay. She came a long way around to that. She's talking about having to change medications. Did he have to change treatment or medication? I don't really know anything about Crohn's disease. I know you have to have medicine for it, though. Did he have to switch it? Not yet. Okay. Is that being talked about? Because I feel like something's about to change or just changed. He gets infusions. Okay. She said this. She said, even though he needs extra upping the dose. Okay. Even though he needs extra love and attention because of this disease, which I know is very challenging, especially for you, Mom. Make sure to carve out a little time for your other son as well. Special time just for the two of you, because he may be feeling lost in the mix. And I think this is what she was originally talking about. So carve out some one-on-one time for you and your other son, so he knows you still have that special connection. And that's Grandma's message today. And keep trying with that food, she said, but you don't have the salt in her hands. And she keeps showing me that. And I just think it's adorable and wonderful. And thank you so much. And give your sons a big hug. Sons are special to me because I have two sons too. So big hugs to you and your boys, and good luck with that cookbook and all of your recipes. And thank you so much.
I love it. She says, never will. That salt, they'll never taste the same, right?
Never. Nope. Okay. I am ready to retire for the evening.
Right.
My show, The Curse of Oak Island, comes on soon because I'm a big nerd. I love treasure hunts. I have, if you want to book anything or ask me any questions, all my links are in my bio. I have a class coming up in March, and I have a 50% off coupon through the end of January, Holly 2023. I honestly don't know how many spaces are left, but that's what I have going on. Kathy, what do you have?
So I am booked. I think I have one space left in January for a reading, so I have some spaces available in February. However, I forgot to mention before that if you are a member of Helping Parents Heal, and that means you've lost a child, or you have a child in spirit, I am doing a gallery reading for Helping Parents Heal on February 6th. So if you're a member, come join us on February 6th. Also, I just want to say thank you so much. This was my first actual TikTok live. I mean, I've been on here with no face. So thank you so much for hosting Peaceful Nik. And I don't know, I just woke up today and I don't have 1,000 followers, but TikTok said you could go live. So I'm like, okay. So thank you so much.
Somebody asked, how do you join the Helping Parents Heal group?
So go to helpingparentsheal.org, and you'll be able to. You'll figure out how to join the group. So it's helpingparentsheal.org. Go to their website. They have wonderful resources for bereaved parents around the world. So go to their website, join. You can be they call them shining light parents. And then again, I will be presenting there on February 6th.
Wonderful. And thank you to everyone. And as always, this will be posted on my YouTube channel the 14th or 15th or whatever, like in a week and a half. Whatever, the 13th, I think it'll be posted on my YouTube channel. So thank you. And all of Kathy's information will be linked there as well as mine. So thank you all very much. And now we can go live together as much as we want. And we'll try Facebook again, but.
Oh, it goes so well last time.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Bye, Kathy.
Bye.